Broadcasting live from the True Crime Today studios to the world. This is Murder in the Morning with Tony Bruschi and Stacey Cole.
From the Hit Killers Podcast, Murder in the Morning.
Another dark one out of Wisconsin. David and Robert Bintz. I guess it's dark, but it has a story of revival in it after many years of injustice. Brothers from Green Bay, Wisconsin, exonerated in September of 24 after suspending 25 years in prison for the 1987 murder of Sandra Lison. So these guys had 25 years of their life stolen from them because of this. Lison was a 44-year-old mother of two, was working as a bartender at Good Times in Green Bay when she disappeared. Her body was discovered shortly after in the Machickanee Forest, 30 miles away, having been strangled. Authorities also found evidence of sexual assault. Despite no physical evidence connecting the brothers to the crime, David Bintz became a suspect after allegedly arguing with Lison over a bar tab on the night she vanished. The case remained unsolved for over a decade until 1998. David, who was already serving time for another crime, was implicated by a cellmate who claimed David had confessed to the murder in his sleep. Dun, dun, dun. Mm-hmm. How is that even admissible? He confessed to it in his sleep, officer. And
I don't know. I mean, if you give me a little CBD before I go to bed, the nightmares are intense, and there is yelling and there's heavy breathing and all kinds of weird stuff. So I don't know. It's weird.
You could be like, I killed Kennedy, officer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In 2000, both brothers were convicted of robbing and killing Lison and sentenced to life in prison. The conviction, however, rested on circumstantial evidence as no physical proof tied them to the scene of the crime. A turning point in the case came nearly 2 decades later when the Great Northern Innocence Project, based in Minnesota, took an interest in the brothers' situation. After years of legal battles, the organization enlisted the help of the Investigative Genetic Genealogy Center in Ramapo College, New Jersey. Through the genetic genealogy, investigators were able to create a DNA profile from the evidence found at the crime scene. After returning the profile through running it through consumer databases like GED Match and IgG, narrowed the DNA match down to the three brothers, one of whom was William Hendricks, a convicted rapist who died in 2000. The case took that significant step forward when authorities exhumed Hendricks' remains in April of 24. A DNA comparison revealed there was a 1 in 329 trillion chance that anyone other than Hendricks was responsible for the crime.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'd love
to have a better chance at winning the lottery than that.
I'd love to know what the evidence was that they actually convicted them on, that they really thought that this is it, other than somebody saying in their jail cell that they had a dream. Yeah, in light of the conclusive evidence, a Wisconsin judge vacated the brothers' convictions on September 27th of 24, officially setting them free after decades of wrongful imprisonment. Quote, today, Sandra Lison will rest in peace because her true murderer is now known, said Judge Donald Zoodmuller in court. It is therefore my bounded duty to excise and follow the law, while satisfied that I will sign judgments vacating the convictions for both these defendants and set them free. I'm sure there'll be a massive lawsuit against Green Bay very soon. The ruling brought an end to a decades-long fight for justice, though questions remain about how the brothers were convicted in the first place without concrete physical evidence. District Attorney David Lassie, that one, responded to concerns about the initial investigation and said the prosecutors and the law enforcement officers were handling this case at the outset, followed the evidence that they had at the time, and that conviction was sound. The exoneration of David and Robert Bintz is one of the many recent cases where DNA now has been used to advance convictions to be cleared for individuals who were wrongly convicted many, many years ago before this technology even existed. The case also underscores a significant role that the Innocence Projects play in reviewing and challenging old convictions.
So think of it. Let's hop in our little time machine here in our DeLorean and go back 25 years to 1999. The Twin Towers were not hit yet at this point.
And you're jamming to Will 2K on the big one, 101 WIXX in Green Bay.
Yeah. Life has changed quite a bit. There were no smartphones back then. There was no AI. There was no Lyft and Uber. Food was rarely delivered to your home unless it was a pizza or Chinese food.
I remember that shit. That's all we could get back in our day, kids. It was pizza or Chinese. That's your option.
That's it. So now these two men get out. What do they do? Where do they go? They didn't even have self-checkout at the grocery store. So that when they go to buy groceries, they're like, what the fuck do I do here?
Well, it'll go away soon enough anyhow.
Well, there's that. But seriously, did we even could you put in a credit card at the gas station into the pump?
I don't think I had a credit card back then.
Well, you were just a young punk, but
yeah.
Times have really changed. I mean, it's almost as though these guys were in a time capsule and let out.
Well, I mean, they have internet and things like that, but like as far as like living in the world and functioning in it, yeah, that's going to be a whole new thing. It almost makes you want to get locked up for 25 years just to come out 25 later and see what that's like.
Like a caveman that was frozen and you're let out into the current times.
Or like the, like the Blast from the Past movie. I thought that was a real fun one. Or Forever Young. You could do the whole Mel Gibson thing and, then age rapidly next to a lighthouse when you're found the love of your life.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, things like that. Those were good shows. Quantum Leap. You could Quantum Leap it a little bit. You could feel like, I'd come out and be like, I'm fucking Bacula, bitches. Like, oh my God, somebody lives in that house. Yes.
Yeah.
I've been here for 25 years, motherfuckers.
I just don't know.
Where's the flying cars? Flying cars. The Tesla still burst into flames. Like 25 years later still? Like, we're going to figure this shit out in 25 years?
Nope.
Yeah.
But yeah, times have changed. And now, the hell they've endured in prison for 25 years was for nothing.
Oh, completely. Well, I'm going to guess they're going to sue the city. That usually happens when things like this take place.
Might take another 25 years for them to get anything out of it, though.
Well, and then the city can, accuse them of murdering somebody in a burn barrel in a car lot, and then they never have to pay them out. Oh, wait, that's a different case in like right down the road.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of messed up cases in Wisconsin, and I say that as a Wisconsinite. I'm smack dab in the middle of the state. I get to see all this shit.
There are, and it goes back historically. I mean, you got Ed Gein, you got Dahmer, you got. I mean, you got some good ones for being, and for not being like a California or a New York. I got to say, Wisconsin has some pretty impressive serial killers and some pretty weird stories that have come out of it.
Is it lead content in the water table? What is it?
I'm not going to go with lead content, but I'm going to say everyone having a perpetual blood alcohol level of 0.05 might have something to do with it.
All right, true crime addicts, let's cut the crap. You're knee-deep in the gory details of your favorite podcast when suddenly a commercial hits like a bad meal. Seriously? You deserve better. Upgrade to True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts, where you can binge without those annoying ads. Plus, get extended interviews that go deeper into the darkness and early access to episodes so you can be the first to know. It's like trading up from fast food to fine dining, but with more blood. So, go ahead. Search for True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe and feast on the good stuff.